everybody, Josiah and Laura here, and we are sitting in our backyard sending a way overdue update, but we hope that you guys forgive us for that. The last month or so, it's been at least a month since we've sent an update, and it's been wonderful. It's been full. I feel like I said that in the last video as well. And as you all know, because we sent out that email update, there's been some really tough days to walk through in the past. It's been 3 weeks now since we lost our friend Sarah. And Laura, would you just talk a little bit about Sarah and about some of the process we've been in as we're grieving, and just share with folks where we're at?
Yeah. I think I've shared a little bit, at least on Facebook, just how special my friendship with Sarah was. She was really somebody that I was doing life with, and just feeling this loss every day and just wishing she were still here, if I'm being honest. It's hard to accept that she's not, and just very much grieving, and it's a process I've never experienced before, and it's not linear at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of questions in my mind, and I'm just sort of trying to accept where I'm at and not try to fight it at all, and just know that God is okay with my questions, and just finding his closeness in it. So that's been good. It has made, I think, what we're doing with Healing Care and becoming more equipped all the more meaningful, but also it adds a dimension of grieving that's even deeper. It's just knowing like what might have been different.
Yeah.
So it's been tough, but
yeah. I think there's something in me as we're working with Healing Care, and we're working to position people to experience healing in places of brokenness. Like some days I just want it to be a formula, if that makes sense. You know, like I wish that like if you just did A, B, and C, it just worked, and people who were in the depths of despair could just be made whole. And yet I think working with Healing Care, navigating through our own journeys, navigating through these past 3 weeks of some real hard stuff, causes us to have to recognize that it's not a formula. People experiencing wholeness and healing through the power of Jesus is real. We've seen it. And yet it's not a formula that can just be applied in a blanket sort of way over people's lives. And it brings us into some of the mystery of how God works. And there are no easy answers in this terrain. So we appreciate the way that you have been praying for us. When we sent out the email, we received an outpouring from all of you. Well, from many of you, letting us know that you were praying for us and that you were with us, and that's precious to us. We want to thank you for that. You know, I want to share a few updates from the past. Well, you've known that I've been working on a lot of video work with Healing Care, which has been super fun for me, and it has also felt really helpful and meaningful. And some of those videos are now up online, some shorter ones. And I'm going to have to include some links maybe to share some of the work that I've been doing with Healing Care with you.
Can't wait for you to get to see it if you haven't yet. It's been really fun to watch Josiah get to operate in this creative side of himself that is it's so gifted, and it's been really life-giving for him. And you know, as somebody who gets to watch that, I can tell you it is life-giving, and he's enjoying it. So
yeah, I've come to realize, like as I'm discovering more about myself, that there is part of me that is like an artist. I've always known that I'm a little bit crazy and forgetful, and I think those can be artist tendencies, but there's a part of me that needs to be in creative process, and learning how to shoot video and to edit video has been really neat for me. It's been a good process, and then to see how that work can be connected to the kingdom. When I was working at Zion, there were my previous church, Zion. I worked on website stuff and did some graphic design, and had a ton of fun doing that. But there were certainly times where I felt almost bad about doing it, because it was like, oh, I should really be doing some more ministry related stuff right now and not this other thing. And that was just in my own head. But now there's just more of this sense that this is right where God has me right now, and there's ministry in this. And so that's been a joy. And I just want to say this to you right now, like the work that you put your hands to, whether it looks like it's overtly ministry or not, it can be ministry to the Lord and to those around you, as you do it with joy and you produce something that comes out of that true place of who you are, that true place of who God's made you to be. As you do work and as you play and as you get engaged with life, it can be ministry to others and it can be worship. And I'm learning that a little bit more. We want to tell you about some things that we have coming up and invite you to be praying with us about them. A lot of what we've been doing this summer has been getting positioned inside of our position, within relationships within the organization. I've been doing some administrative stuff connected to developing this new healing center that is coming, and also doing this video work. There hasn't been as much direct, like hands-on, face-to-face ministry with people as there will be coming up in the fall. Both Laura and I are leading what are known as we call them 16-week small groups. Really catchy title, right? I think we also call them healing care groups. But they last 16 weeks, and they're very intensive journeys that bring a small group of people. We usually cut off the numbers at 8 people plus 2 leaders, just because of the amount of deep work and sharing that happens in these groups. They can't be super large. But Laura and I are each leading one of those separately, and we're really looking forward to that. But one of the things that within Healing Care we always say whenever somebody begins to lead one of these groups is you have to gather a group of people around you that are praying specifically for you as you're leading those groups, because you start opening up wounded places in people's lives and letting the light of Christ and the love of Christ into those places, and warfare happens in the lives of people that we're leading and in our own lives. And so for Laura and I both to be leading one of those groups at the same time, we just really ask for your prayers. We're going to be meeting on Sunday afternoons beginning the end of September. And so if you think of us, Sunday afternoons beginning in September, please be praying for us and asking God to touch people's lives, asking Him to protect us and protect our families from the attacks of the enemy. But we're excited about these too. We're not fearful at all about warfare. It's part of doing kingdom work, I think. Yeah. One other thing that we're involved in that has already started, that's real intimate, sweet ministry, is a group we're leading that is called Rooted, and it's through Healing Care, and they have these cohorts of people gathering to do a year-long discipleship group process through the next year. It starts in September and it goes for 10 months. And we're leading a virtual cohort. We meet online, and it's a little bit more challenging to do that. Last year's group that went through it faced some real challenges. But we have just experienced such a grace, I think, on our lives to lead this virtual cohort, and then within our group to see the way God's moving. We've only met twice so far, but it has been sweet.
It's been really, really amazing how across, miles we can connect and really feel community with these people that are just so hungry.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we've met twice, and both times, the Lord was really ministering to each of us, ourselves included, which on a personal note, I had been hungry for this sort of community, and was even, remembering when I was at Community Bible Study in New York and looking for the closest one here. And within like a few days of me trying to track down something like that, Josiah mentioned this Rooted cohort, and I had heard about it and was very interested in it. But with us being the leaders, and it just made it more possible. So it's been really good.
Yeah, it's been neat, and it's been neat for Laura and I to do that together.
Yeah.
During the 3 years when I was in seminary, there were ways and places in which we were ministering, but we really felt like it was a season where God wanted to be pouring into us, and we were not seeking opportunities to be like ministering in tandem a ton, even though that's the way God had moved through our lives previously. But I feel like we're stepping back into that, and we just see God's favor on it, which is super fun.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I could say more, but we got to keep this video not too short. But
Not
there's
too long.
yeah, we don't want it to be too short. We were going to go for 35, 40 minutes.
We
or
don't
so.
want you to be gypped at all on this.
There was one more thing I wanted to say. Okay, I think I totally forgot the other thing I wanted to say, but a few more updates. Laura is leading worship at a seminar coming up in 2 weeks, and I am leading a multicam video recording for that seminar, which is something Healing Care has never done in-house, and I have never done before. But as I've been doing this video work, it's been fun to try to figure out how to do stuff, and so I'm going to be leading that, and Laura's going to be leading worship over the course of 4 days at this event. And then later in October, I'm going to be in Colorado. In November, Laura's going to be in Canada for about a week. And so we've just got some travel coming up that we're excited about and looking forward to. I think that's just about it. We just ask that as the Lord brings us to mind, take a moment and say, Jesus, how do I pray for them today? We love that each of you are people that care about us and your Spirit-led folks. And so let the Spirit lead how you pray for us.
Another testimony, Isaiah is finishing up his second week of kindergarten, and he's doing amazing.
Yeah.
He loves it, and it's just really fun to see him thriving in that setting. And Emily and I are getting a lot of special time together, which was a longing of my heart. So thank you for your prayers, not just for us, but for our kids and our family. We really appreciate it.
It's such an incredible privilege to have you partnering with us, watching these videos even and connecting with us. What a gift. And thank you for those of you who are partnering with us financially. We don't take it lightly that you are with us helping make the kind of work that we get to do possible. We're so grateful.
Thank you so much.
Blessings.